Heather from A More Crafty Life. Today I'm going to show you how to do my even moss stitch double thick pot holder. And this is an easy pattern that makes a great double thick pot holder using Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn. In this case, this color is Coral Sea Ombre, and I'm using an H 5mm crochet hook. For this pattern, you want an even number of crochet stitches, and another thing that's great about it is you can make one with less than one skein of yarn, and it's a pretty quick pattern. So for this one, I chained 36. And as you notice, all my video tutorials are left-handed. So, and you can use any multiple of 2. You can even increase it large enough and you could make a pillow or a larger hot pad for your table. And you want to make sure to use 100% cotton yarn in case it got too hot and the acrylic melted. So you want to continue to your 36, and I will meet you back there when I've got that. Now that you've chained 36, you are going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So 1, 2, single crochet. And you're going to do 1 single crochet for each chain. And I like to use Lily Sugar and Cream cotton yarn because it's a little bit stiffer cotton yarn, and it works well for pot holders. And being a worsted weight category 4 yarn, it works up pretty quickly too. But any 100% cotton yarn would work. And Lily Sugar and Cream has tons of colors, ombres, multi colors. Keep continuing until you get to the end of your row, 1 single crochet in each chain. Just looks like this, a row of single crochet. And this is based on a very simple square pot holder pattern that I learned when I first started to crochet when I was 8. Now that you've come to the end, you're going to do 3 single crochets in the last stitch. So I already have 1, 2, and 3. Then you're going to turn your work and you're going to go down the other side of the chain, putting 1 single crochet in each of the stitches. So you just keep continuing with your single crochets, and it should look like this. You have like a long oval. 1 single crochet in each stitch. And this project's great when you're looking for something quick and practical, easy to do, doesn't need much yarn. You can also find more 1 skein crochet patterns on my blog, A More Crafty Life. And please subscribe for more free patterns. I have hundreds of free patterns on my blog. All my patterns have a free printable version, most of them a free PDF, usually found after the main pattern for you to download and use. Now that I'm getting to the end of my row, in the last single crochet on this side, I'm going to do 3. So there was 1, 2, and 3. So it looks like this. Then you're going to start your first round. And a round is just when you go around basically in a circle. And for this pattern, you don't need to slip stitch or anything like that. And you're going to just do 1 slip stitch in the first stitch and 1 half double crochet in the second. And that is the pattern for the rest of the pot holder. So 1 slip stitch, 1 half double crochet, 1 slip stitch, 1 half double crochet, 1 slip stitch, 1 half double crochet. And it will start to look like this. This is, if you've ever used the even moss stitch, that's what this is. And for this pattern, that means that your slip stitch will always be, when you do the next round, your slip stitch will always be on top of a slip stitch, and a half double crochet will always be on top of a half double crochet. So if you end up with an extra stitch, or you forgot which stitch you're on, you know that it always is on top of the same stitch. Always a slip stitch on top of a slip stitch and a half double on top of a half double. It's also similar to what's called the crunch stitch, which instead of being on top of each other, you just alternate. So you keep going. And I will meet you back around when we get to the end of the round so you can see what it looks like. Now that I finished the round, it should look like this. It gives it kind of this little raised texture that you can see here. And when you come to the end, you should start over for your next round, and you want it to be a slip stitch. And if you don't end up with the right amount of stitches, just add either a slip stitch or a half double crochet to make it work out correctly. So then, so this is a slip stitch, and I'm going to put another slip stitch on top of it, and I'm going to start round 2. And it's just slip stitch on top of slip stitch and half double crochet on top of half double crochet. And you keep continuing, and I did 20 rounds. Once you'll want to measure to make sure it's a square, or if you want a rectangle, when you're happy with the sides with it flat. And I'll show you how that looks when I've come to the end and I've met in both sides together. So you just keep going around in the same round until your edges meet together. When you've done enough rows that it meets in the middle and it's flat as a square, so it looks like this, you are going to want to either sew or slip stitch it closed. So I like to slip stitch it closed because then I don't have to grab the yarn needle. So what you do is you go, starting from the top corner, you go through both stitches. So here's 2 stitches on this side, 2 stitches on the 2 pieces of the stitch, but 1 stitch either side. Yarn over, and then you pull through both stitches and the loop that was on your hook. And then you just repeat. So you go to your next stitch, go through both loops, yarn over, pull through both loops, and then the loop that was on your hook. And I didn't quite start at the top, but you'd want to make sure. And it makes kind of a flat, it makes kind of a ridge, but when you wash it, it flattens out. Another way to do this is to cut your yarn, knot it, and then get out your tapestry or yarn needle, which I have here. Leave a long tail, and then you can sew through either side, and you want to go just through the top part of the stitch, just 1 loop on the top of either side. You can see it here. You go through this one and you go through the other side, and so you just sew back and forth until you have it completed. And I made, and this is what it looks like on the other side, I made a small version of it. These would work for a coaster. So if you wanted to chain 18 with what you had left over, these work really well. You can find the written pattern of the even moss stitch double thick pot holder on my blog, A More Crafty Life, with hundreds of other free patterns. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe.